Hello, you join me looking at some rather dead looking aloes. These aren't your aloe vera type. I believe they're a type of maculata. They were seed propagated, so they could be a new variety. And I'm going to pop these on into some fresh compost. So I've got some washed horticultural grit, and then I'm going to add some multi-purpose compost. This is just some fine compost that I could sort of get my hands on during 2020. This was filmed in May of 2020 when it was quite difficult to get hold of bits. Because that's quite rich and quite moisture retentive, I'm going to add some sievings of just spent soil based compost. This was the sort of sweepings off the sort of slabs that I've got on the bottom of my greenhouse. It's looking really good. And now I'm going to add some water to it with a watering can. I'm going to get it nice and wet because I don't plan on watering these again for quite some time. So they're going to have to sustain themselves from the water in the compost. I'm going to put some gloves on because I've got the horticultural grit in here and I need to sort of mix it with some gloves to save my hands. And all you can see is it's a bit like doing pastry really. It's just mixing all the water into any dry parts of the compost planting mix. So we're reusing the original pots because there was nothing nasty in those pots. The reason the plants looked like they did was because I had felted over the roof of the greenhouse and used it as a shed for 2 years. So they've been sat in really poor light conditions with no water apart from they got lucky and they're in a sort of leaky corner for a couple of years. So I've just put in the planting mix there. I've not firmed down too firm at all. I've just really just got it a bit firm, and then I'm trimming off all these leaves with some snips. You could use scissors for this as well, or some sharp secateurs. Now once I've removed all these leaves, I'm going to take a glass jar which has got some rooting hormone or hormone pounder in it, and just add a little bit of water, and I'm going to dip my aloe roots, or the area where there should be roots, into the water there. I normally wouldn't do this if I was just potting on pups or potting on a plant, but because there's no root as such present, I just want to give them the best opportunity to root. I'm going to take a dibber and just find roughly the depth that I think they should go in at, and just place them in. And then what I'm going to do is just firm around very gently, just to make sure that the roots are in contact with the compost and that it's firmly in there. I'll give it a little mist as well, just the couple of leaves I've left on, and just the top of the compost. Just to, again, I'm not going to water this for a very long time, months and months, so I just want to make sure that it's as moist as possible. Now I'm placing them on the top shelf at the back of the greenhouse, so it gets about half sun. See there, and I'm just going to do the other two and pop them with it there. And now all we need is time to see if we can take the plants from this to something resembling alive. And here they are, 2 years, 7 months and 21 days later. It's December the 23rd, 2022. I did them in May 2020. They're absolutely thriving. One of them I've given away to my brother-in-law about a year or so ago. I've repotted them since in this nearly 3-year time span, And the mix was very similar to the original mix, but this is a little bit less gritty, a little bit less soil based. It's really good, and they're thriving. You can see the little pups that are growing out, so these little plants that are coming out of it, they've got a few of them, and I'll be separating these out in another video and potting them on. And these haven't been watered for, oh goodness, a couple of months at least. So, and they're still, if I just give them a very gentle squeeze, they're still fine. So there's still plenty of water in there. I don't need to worry, especially this time of year. You can upset them by overwatering them quite easily with the cold. Because these are still in the greenhouse, just to prove it, and they're thriving.